The skies are darkening, but in here I am a ball of sunshine, ready to have some fun for 2 straight hours of broadcast excellence, or at the very least, and let's face it, probably more likely broadcast competence. Welcome to the Dan O'Donnell Show. The AdventNews.com talk and text line is open, as it always is, at 414-799-1130. You can reach me toll-free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show as well. You can watch the show streaming live on X, on Facebook, or on our YouTube channel. Just search for Dan O'Donnell or Dan O'Donnell Show. Join Dan Nation. Join the ongoing conversation on our live stream. And be sure to subscribe to the Dan O'Donnell Show podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you get podcasts. Follow us, like us, give us a thumbs up, spread the word, Dan Nation. We are constantly expanding, preaching the gospel of conservative thought and not just talk, and we will bribe you to do so with $1,000 on the line right now in the Spring Green Cash Contest. The word of the hour is grand, G-R-A-N-D, grand. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword grand to enter the contest for this hour. Let's get right to it. Busy broadcast day today. We have got an update on the situation at The Rock in Franklin, where the developer is denying that he owes the $1 million that he most definitely owes to the city of Franklin, saying on Facebook, in which he took a couple of personal pot shots at me, that the situation is, well, complicated. It actually isn't. He has a $1 million property tax shortfall that he owes, and the interest has been running since January to the tune of 1% or $10,000 every single month. The growing fear amongst those in Franklin's government is that, quite frankly, the developer, Mike Zimmerman, is unable to pay, that he is heading towards bankruptcy, which would be a disaster for pretty much all involved. If he doesn't come up with this $1 million, the city of Franklin has a $1 million budget shortfall because of the fact that the property just isn't worth, even as properties are booming across Wisconsin, across the country. You can't buy a starter home for less than about $300,000 right now. The property of The Rock has not improved. The value of it has not increased, and he owes, per the terms of his contract with the city, $1 million. And the VIG, as the mob says, is running. Turns out the mob behind The Rock, which had thought that, like Tony Soprano, it had bought Franklin's government, seems to be in full-blown panic mode with a common council meeting tonight. We will discuss that in the 10 o'clock hour plus. I am very rarely shocked, ladies and gentlemen, when researching a story. It is very rare that I am surprised by government bloat. Milwaukee Public Schools has truly shocked me. When you have enough money to hire and maintain a, quote, climate justice coach for a public school system, and you just got $252 million in taxpayer money through a referendum last month, how is it that you're cutting 133 teachers? I was stunned. Folks, I spent the bare minimum of 45 minutes doing nothing but combing MPS's website, because there is absolutely no place where there is a convenient list of all of the central office employees. And frankly, I didn't get finished. I started at about 8:15 researching this topic, MPS's plan to cut salaries. They need to cut salaries even as they're still getting COVID relief money until September. Even as they went to referendum in 2020, right before that COVID relief money from the federal government was authorized. And even though they just got $250 million, Keith Posley, the superintendent, has announced plans to cut 133 teacher positions. I did not see listed among those cuts the climate justice coach. I couldn't finish combing MPS's website to try to find all of the various administrative positions, all of the directors of this program, all of the program coordinators of that service. It is rare that I am shocked, ladies and gentlemen. This school district has to be spending $100 million bare minimum every single year just on administrative staff. I don't see how it could be. I'm at least 300 or 400 people in central office, and I didn't even get through about half of the departments. I'm going to run through a partial list in just a second. But first, did you know today is the left's Christmas? Easter, well, not so much Easter. How about Earth Day, if we're going for a holiday in April? It's the left's Arbor Day, the left's Juneteenth, the left's January 6th, all of the high liberal holy days wrapped them into one, because Stormy Daniels herself is going to testify in Manhattan Circuit Court against Donald J. Trump in his hush money trial, which isn't actually a hush money trial. It is a completely unlawful and unprecedented prosecution that's really a persecution of the leading presidential candidate in the United States, something that I once thought would only happen in banana republics, but alas, it is happening today. And as always, here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, because Donald Trump is not allowed to campaign, he's allowed to give 2 to 3 minute statements before he goes into a courtroom every day. I have made a pledge to you, our listeners, in the critical swing state of Wisconsin, that since the left, since the Biden administration, and oh yes, this is absolutely a Biden administration prosecution, I can prove it. The lead prosecutor on this case resigned as the number 3 official in Merrick Garland's Justice Department to become a line prosecutor in New York. Now, I think you folks know that I myself got a law degree. I'd never practiced law. I sort of saw the law as something I would eventually go to when I was inevitably fired from a broadcast career. Lo and behold, 20 some odd years later, I haven't been fired yet, knock on wood. But I do know a little something about the old legal hierarchy. What do you suppose is the better gig? Number 3 official at the Justice Department of the United States, or white-collar crimes prosecutor in New York? Which do you think? Just take a wild guess. Which do you think gives you a better salary? Which do you think gives you more opportunity for career advancement? Which do you think gives you a better lifestyle? Which do you think gives you more prestige? Turns out, immediately after Trump announced that he was going to run for president, literally within about 3 weeks, the number 3 guy at the Justice Department suddenly resigns to take a job as the white-collar crimes prosecutor in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Isn't that weird how it works? This is clearly being coordinated as a political hit, as an attempt to keep Donald Trump off the campaign trail and to make sure the public sees Donald Trump criminal defendant, Donald Trump convicted criminal eventually, and not Donald Trump successful former president, where we actually had peace and prosperity, as opposed to this guy who's an abject failure. So I said Wisconsin just may be the critical swing state for a 3rd straight election. And because we have access to the biggest audience in radio, and I dare say the most politically savvy and intelligent audience in all of radio and all of talk radio and all of media, I said every single day that Trump speaks, no matter how long he goes on for, no matter what he says, we are going to play the president for you in his entirety. So here he goes. He goes for about 3 minutes. Donald Trump before court just a couple of minutes ago.
Are you a victim of extortion?
The country is on fire. There are protests all over the country. I've never never seen anything like this. Many graduation ceremonies are being canceled. They're canceled, as you know, in Columbia. They're canceling a lot of them. And we have a president that just refuses to talk because he can't talk. You know that. So does everyone else. Some of the statements made about this witch hunt on CNN, fake news CNN, Michael Moore said the proof of falsifying records has not been accomplished. On Good Morning America, they said, we heard that expense payments to lawyers are legal expenses. You pay a lawyer expense payments. We didn't put it down as construction costs, the purchase of sheetrock, the electrical cost. The legal expense that we paid was put down as legal expense. There's nothing else you could say. You don't have to put down anything, I guess. But we put down legal expense was legal expense. Is that a correct statement, Mr. Attorney? And everyone's saying, oh, gee, that's the fraud. That's what they're trying to get us on. The fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense. They marked it down in the books. The check was signed. And the other thing, this was approved by all agencies. Everybody saw this. There was nothing being hidden at all. That's what they're all writing now. There's been nothing hidden. And it went through agencies, and I guess it went through the IRS also. It went through IRS, it went through the FEC, it went through everything. Also, NBC Today showed the challenges that there is no smoking gun, no email or tape to prove the president's intent. They don't have a way to prove that. That's NBC Today show. And then Fox News, Katie Cherkasky, said that the gag order is unconstitutional, which of course it is. The gag order is unconstitutional. So with all that's going on, they have no case. Every single legal scholar that I see, I mean, maybe there's somebody out there, some whack job, but for virtually everyone that I've seen has said there's absolutely no case. It's a case that shouldn't have been brought. The previous DA wouldn't bring it. Bragg didn't want to bring it, and he brought it because I'm running in number one place. This all comes out of the White House and crooked Joe Biden. This comes from the White House, and it's all Biden because it's an attack on his political opponent. That hasn't happened in this country. It does happen in third world countries, but it hasn't happened in this country, and it's a shame. And the trial is a very unfair trial. It's a very, very unfair trial. The good news is they have nothing. Thank you.
That is former President Donald Trump talking about, among other things, Matthew Colangelo, who I realized I didn't identify as that number 3 DOJ official who suddenly resigned. Just decided, you know what? I need to change careers. I need to go from a cushy upper management job as the number 3 at the DOJ to just being a line prosecutor, just a regular guy getting back to the, as lawyer jobs go, the blue collar stuff, prosecuting white collar crimes in New York. It's just not, coordinated at all. It's not a political hit at all. When we come back, you will hear something that, honest to goodness, shocked me. The sheer volume of bureaucrats at Milwaukee Public Schools. As they're planning to cut teachers, you will hear some of the positions that under no circumstances will ever be cut. Be prepared. I've got 9 full pages of them. That's right, 9. And I think I'm about halfway through the list. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, a tour de force of truth.
The Dan O'Donnell Show.
We'll be right back.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Let's celebrate. Spring is finally here. And you know what my favorite thing to do is? Putzing in my yard while enjoying the thick, lush, green grass beneath my bare feet. Ooh, yeah. Wait, you don't have thick, lush green grass and you're afraid the prickers in your lawn will hurt your bare feet? Then you're missing one of the best parts of Wisconsin summers. As Wisconsin's landscape expert, I can help. The licensed lawn care professionals at Seasonal Services understand exactly what it takes to establish and maintain thick, lush, green grass. We take an environmentally responsible and sensitive approach to lawn care. So call Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services at 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com. And if you need more help in the yard, join me at 1 o'clock every Saturday afternoon for the Designer Yard Show right here on WISN.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Progressive presents 10 things on a food truck owner's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Stocking the fridge, prepping the stations, finding employees that get along well, finding employees that actually do their job. Looking at you, Gary. Balancing the books, balancing the flavors, having a fresh menu and fresh produce and fresh meat, but never a fresh mouth. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
Why is abbreviation such a long word? You'd think someone could make it shorter.
You mean like instead of saying buy one, get one, you can just say BOGO.
Yeah, kinda.
Through Monday at Hasselus Mattress, buy a new Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, or Beauty Rest mattress, and we'll give you a free box spring or an equal amount off an adjustable base.
Or, in other words,
BOGO.
You're a man of few words. I like that.
Find a self-service showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Turns out $250 million just doesn't go as far as it used to. You would have thought you win the Powerball, you get $250 million, you are set. Well, you, my friend, are not Milwaukee Public Schools. While the referendum measure allows the district to bring in an additional $140 million for the next school year. That referendum, of course, passed $250 million. Just a month ago, the amount, according to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, is shorted the district's projected total budget shortfall about $200 million. It's exacerbated this year by the ending of federal pandemic relief aid, which many districts have used to hire or keep integral staff. MPS projected it would cost about $32 million to absorb those staff into its regular budget, a cost that was included in its $200 million estimated shortfall. The superintendent, Keith Posley, has now outlined what we knew was coming about a week or so ago, projected cuts. 133 teachers employed through the district's central office, plus 16 school-based teachers. There would also be a cut of about 44 educational assistant positions out of about 1,300. The district would also lose positions for 9 social workers, 3 psychologists, 13 school nurses, and 9 health assistants. Staff in food services could also be cut, about 8 managers and 27 assistants. Positions are counted in the budget as full-time equivalents, meaning one position could actually be multiple part-time staff. Here are some of the positions, and I spent 45 minutes just combing MPS's website, and I think I've only got roughly half. So I am, in the interest of brevity, and there's really no brevity when it comes to this list, I could honestly be reading names and positions for the next 4 hours. Here is just a small sample of some of the bureaucratic bloat at MPS. None of these positions and none of these people are going to be cut, but 149 teachers are going to be cut. Special education is going to be cut. Food services is going to be cut. And this is really tragic. As the Bard said, the most unkindest cut of all. MPS's Department of Gender Identity and Inclusion, launched in 2021 to support girls of color and LGBTQ plus students, would be gutted under Posley's plan, alongside the district's older Department of Black and Latino Male Achievement, which was launched in 2017 with the intention of boosting attendance rates and reducing suspensions for Black and Latino students. Pause for effect. It didn't work. Well, I mean, they did just sort of stop suspending kids because they noticed, as we outlined in our radio documentary several years ago, Blood on the Blackboard, which I believe might be coming up on its 10th anniversary. It was a documentary about violence against teachers in Milwaukee Public Schools, which made a huge splash. People were talking about it for months, and of course, nothing happened. I showed how, because of a memo that went out from the Obama administration's Department of Justice and Department of Education, school districts across the country, because of something called disparate impact, stopped suspending kids. They determined that if kids were suspended at a higher rate who were Black or Latino, even if the policy that led to the suspension wasn't inherently racist, that it would be considered racist. So what districts like MPS did is just stop suspending kids. Here we have a partial list of the positions that are not going to be cut. In administrative leadership, Superintendent Keith P. Posley, the executive director of the Milwaukee Public Schools Foundation, Willie Jude, the senior team, Jennifer Mims Howell, chief academic officer, Paulette Chambers, chief of staff, Catrice Cotton, chief school administration officer, Martha Kreitzman, chief financial officer, Adria D. Madalini, chief human resources officer. In the bilingual and multicultural education department, the director, Laura Gainey, District Multilingual Multicultural Advisory Committee members, the Bilingual Dual Language Program Director, Rachio Trejo, English as a Second Language Program Director, Sarah Borges, World Languages and Language Immersion Program Director, Sol Maurice Gonzalez Chico, Supervisor of First Nations Studies, Rishonda E. Kakwatosh, Lao Compliance Center for Testing, Placement, and Identification Process, Maria G. Barbie, Secretary. Now, there is a huge list of the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. Massive, massive list of names. I'm even going to give this one a pass because it does have to do with education. There are a whole ton of duplicative positions, but one stood out to me as completely and totally unnecessary. Would you believe MPS has a climate justice instructional coach by the name of Kimberly Tallarico Wolf? She was a teacher from 1997 to 2022 when the position was invented for her to be a coach of climate justice. In the Department of Organizational Development and Supports, There's Senior Director Lonnie J. Anderson, Educator Effectiveness Manager Janine McLemore-Torres, Induction and Support Manager Theopa Tolbert, Professional Development Manager Tanya Whitley, Local Program Director of the Turnaround Arts Jaron Leviston. Now, all of those directors also have varying numbers of staff members underneath them. These are not just the only members of their respective departments, but the positions that are under them were not listed on MPS. These are merely the contacts that I could find in each department. So assume each person has between 3 and 5 people working under them, and you get an idea of just how big this bureaucracy is. I will also skip the Department of Specialized Services because this is OT and PT, nursing health services, other things that contribute to classroom performance. So let's go right down the line here to the Office of Accountability and Efficiency. How ironic is this one? MPS is neither accountable for its failure to educate kids at grade level, and as we're seeing with all of the bureaucratic bloat, it is not at all efficient. The Senior Director of the Office of Accountability and Efficiency is Matthew Chasen. The Accountability and Efficiency Services Manager is simply listed as OAE. I don't know if this is just someone who goes by their initials, if this is just a one-name person like Zendaya or Madonna, but OAE is your Accountability and Efficiency Services Manager. The Contract Compliance Services Manager is Jaquina Cohen. The Audit Services Manager is Paul Geib. The Office of School Administration, which according to the district's website, provides support, supervision, intervention strategies, and accountability systems to schools and school leaders so students in all MPS schools have a safe, supportive learning environment and receive effective instruction that supports high student achievement. Again, rather ironic, there is very little high student achievement in Milwaukee Public Schools. Business and Transportation Services Senior Director David Fifarek. Facilities and Maintenance Senior Director Sean Kane. School Safety and Security Director Dr. Shannon Jones. In the Department of School Services, there are multiple regional superintendents, such as Dr. Carletta Noland, the Central Region Superintendent, Dr. Tony Dinkins of the Northwest Region, Miguel Sanchez of the East Region, Eduardo Galvin of the Southwest Region, and Dr. Jennifer Smith, the High School Region. Under them, there are Instructional Leadership Directors, Felice Beal of the East Region, Maurice Turner of the Northwest Region, Dr. Jeremiah Holiday of the Central Region, Gregory Ogunbowale of the High School Region, and Dr. Jan Gablin of the Southwest Region. Special Services Regional Managers, Barbara Barnes, Central Region, Brian Banisic, East Region, Africa Hughes, Northwest Region, Cheryl Mosley, Southwest Region, Mary Spidell and Irene Borenstein, High School Region, Teresa Wozniak, Contracted Schools. Irene Borenstein is also, along with Africa Hughes, Barbara Barnes, and Brian Bansek, Mary Spidell, also take control of the citywide region. Student Services Senior Director Matthew Boswell in the Office of Human Resources. Talent Management and Staffing Senior Director Michael C. Harris. The Employee Rights Administration Manager James Gorton. Employee Relations Director Larry Cote Jr. Benefits, Pension, and Compensation Senior Director Carol Eady. In the Office of Communications and School Performance, Communications and Marketing Director Nicole Amenda-Rees. Media Relations Manager Stephen Davis. Contracted Schools Director Bridget Schock. Research Assessment and Data Director Melanie R. Stewart, Ph.D. Strategic Partnerships and Customer Service Director Christy Stone. And Technology Services Senior Director Chad Meyer.
Here's what I found.
Shut up, Apple Watch. I'm not looking for any more, because I found every single one of these bureaucrats. But honestly, my show was starting. I started putting together this list. And yes, for those asking, I am going to be posting it online. Every single one of these people, folks, I need you to understand this. Every single one of these people are managers or coordinators or directors. They all have staffs working underneath them. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of these bureaucrats who never set foot in a classroom, never have any real impact directly on student performance, all taking up salary. I guarantee you every single one of these people is making at least $70,000. I can guarantee you in salary and benefits, every single one of these people is making $100,000. What do we have to show for all of this? Quite possibly the worst performing school district in the state. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Do you think people want to respond to this? 414-799-1130, 1-800-838-9476. That's the talk and text line and toll-free line.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for my great friends at Mander Collision and Glass. Now, with 6 locations to serve you, you hear me talk about how great Mander is, their work ethic, their customer service. Here's customer Hank. Took my Corvette in for a new windshield with camera in the glass. Their tech knew everything and did a great job. Everyone there was friendly and helpful. I loved the modern and very neat waiting area. Thank you, guys. Finally, even the bathroom was very clean. This is a very professional family-run business. When I need any more work done, I'm coming here. Peter, you're the best. He even brought this old man an armchair so I could sit and work on my laptop. The receptionist was very quick to say hello and knew everything about my job. Thank you. No, thank you, Hank, for reminding me and everyone about the Mander difference. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com. That's mandercollision.com.
Picture taking your first steps into your brand new home. What do you see? Whether it's cooking meals in your 5-star kitchen or practicing downward dog in your sunroom, Belinsky Homes can handle it all. At Belinsky Homes, we know each lifestyle calls for unique home essentials. That's why we've been designing distinct and deliberate floor plans for over 60 years. Considering every last inch of space, we build new homes ready to adapt to your life's needs. Visit Belinsky.com today to find your right fit. Belinsky Homes, built for life.
Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and even diamonds. That's right, Robert Hack Diamonds wants to make you an offer on your gold, silver, and diamonds. With gold at all-time highs, this is the time to sell. The process is very simple. No appointment needed. Just come on in, sit down in a nice, relaxed atmosphere, and the staff at Robert Hack Diamonds will evaluate your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds and make you an offer on the spot. Then, you can decide if you want a deal or no deal. Gold is at an all-time high, so why not see what it's worth? Now is the perfect time to sell your gold, and Robert Hack Diamonds can also convert your old jewelry into something new with our goldsmiths. Or trade in your outdated pieces for something new and exciting. Again, Robert Hack Diamonds pays cash for your unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds. Yes, we also buy coins, flatware, silver, platinum, the list goes on. If in doubt, come on in. Robert Hack Diamonds. See them in Brookfield, just east of Moreland on Greenfield Avenue, or 76th and Layton, right on the corner in Greenfield, or always online at roberthackdiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Madsen, owner of Color Wheel Painting. I know you think you have a lot of choices when it comes to hiring a painter, like your hungover nephew who is home from college, or those guys who did your neighbor's exterior. Maybe you call a big sort of professional franchise and see which of their 100 subcontractors gets randomly assigned to your project. But the truth is, when it comes to painting, there's only one logical great choice. Color Wheel Painting. Color Wheel has a small team, despite the fact that, yes, we're on the radio. We have geek-level industry knowledge, specific processes, and outstanding products. Color Wheel has a system that from start to finish is personalized and guaranteed to make you proud of every dollar you invest in your home. We are the ones you need. Trust Color Wheel for interior painting, trim painting, wallpaper hanging, cabinet painting, and refinishing, and even more. That's Color Wheel Painting. RemodelandPaint.com.
Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. Spring is in the air, and the deals are heating up at Lynch. Get this, Lynch has over 8 500 new vehicles on the ground ready for immediate delivery. Spring into savings with huge rebates and financing starting as low as 0%. Lynch has new Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, Rams, Chevys, Buicks, GMCs, and Fords on top of their fantastic new car selection. They have a huge inventory of pre-owned vehicles that come with the Lynch Protected Peace of Mind, a 3-month, 3,000-mile certified warranty, and Lynch certification that includes a 168-point inspection plus a 10-day, 500-mile satisfaction guarantee exchange policy. The Lynch family of dealerships truly has your back whether you're shopping for a new or used car. Huge spring savings event going on now at all Lynch locations, or check them out 24 hours a day at shoplynch.com.
The global elites are waging a war on our financial freedom. They want to control our future through digital currencies and a cashless society. By eliminating cash, they can track every transaction, impose negative interest rates, and even freeze accounts at will. But patriots are fighting back by investing in physical gold. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon here. I believe gold is the answer. It safeguards your wealth better than any other asset. And even better, with a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you can move your retirement savings into tangible real gold without paying taxes or penalties. Rolling over your existing IRA or 401k into physical gold could be the smartest financial move you ever make. To learn more, get your free info kit from Birch Gold by texting SECURE to 989898. That's SECURE to 989898. Take a stand for your financial future. Text SECURE to 989898 right now to receive your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group.
Message and data rates may apply.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Deep Cuts. Featuring deep album tracks from iconic artists like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, The Who, The Stones, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Deep Cuts, and listen now.
iHeartRadio!
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Now,
back to the Dan O'Donnell Show.
You know, I might have been a little harsh on MPS. They need all of these bureaucrats, and they will say it's because of the challenge of educating inner city populations. Now, I don't think I need to tell you that pretty much every one of these people is a liberal. It just, the numbers, I'm guessing 90% of the names that I read vote Democrat consistently. Federal bureaucracies are inevitably flowing with liberals. Millions of federal employees, 90 to 95%. State and local government, pretty much the same thing. It's just the people who gravitate towards those positions tend to be left-wing. And they'll say, look, Dan, there is a big challenge in educating inners. We need all of these bureaucrats because it's just so difficult. As Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul put it, she is the governor of New York, speaking at a tech conference recently, the challenge is that black people don't even know what computers are. Wait, what?
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world to open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Young black men in the Bronx don't know what the word computer is. That might actually be the most racist thing I've heard all year. Kathy Hochul, liberal white savior, thinks black people don't know what a computer is. I am willing to wager every black person in the Bronx has a computer in their pocket right now. Like, what? They don't know what a computer is. And this sort of underpins the philosophy of liberals. They truly believe that inner city school districts like MPS need these massive bloated bureaucracies because the kids that they're educating are just so dumb. There's a very famous, rather infamous soundbite about Joe Biden. He was in Iowa. I believe this was 2007. Producer Dave, you're never going to find it that quick. We'll have to take the commercial break and look for it together. This is how good my producer is. He's already looking for this Joe Biden soundbite. It's like 2007. And he's talking about education in Iowa. And he says, Washington, D.C. Iowa schools are 90% white. What do you have in Washington, D.C.? You see, that's why Washington, D.C. performs so much worse than schools in Iowa. Again, it's about as racist as it gets. I actually couldn't believe when I found that soundbite of Kathy Hochul. If that's a Republican that says this, black people in the Bronx just don't know what a computer, you'd be canceled instantly. You would not have a career. There would be an immediate move to recall you from office because you hold such bigoted beliefs. Now, I'm not saying MPS and the people who run it are bigoted. What I am saying is this fundamental, deep-seated belief on the left that there needs to be all of this redundancy. Now, the primary motivation for bloating up local bureaucracy like Milwaukee Public Schools and then groveling for money. Oh, we just need to provide basic services to the kids. You get the $250 million not a month later, literally less than a month later. You're saying we're going to cut 149 teacher positions. We're going to cut food service. We're not going to dare touch the climate justice coach. We're not going to dare study or touch the First Nations studies coordinator. We're not going to touch any of our buddies at MPS. So the primary motivation is, of course, getting jobs for our friends, cake jobs in the federal bureaucracy or the state bureaucracy or the local bureaucracy that you'll never, ever, ever be fired from. That's the primary motivation. But I'm telling you, the way that they're able to justify this to themselves, and it's all Democrats who are running this, is, well, those kids just need extra help. How is it that the New Berlin School District is quite possibly the best performing district in the entire state with maybe, 1,000th of MPS's staff? Even on a per capita basis, the number of administrators per student, the amount of money spent per student in a district like New Berlin, in a district like, what's another very high-performing district? Greendale, I think, is always. Brookfield, perfect example. The Elmbrook schools, always very high-performing. It's like New Berlin and Brookfield, always very high-performing, just very good. They hire good people. They have great teachers. They're always, every single year, they're at the top of the list. MPS is at the bottom. You take a look at what they're spending per student, it is far less than MPS. I believe the number was something, we're up to like $20,000 per student at MPS. Is that money going to the classroom? No, by definition, because they're cutting classroom teacher positions. They're cutting central office teacher positions. The money is going to bureaucratic bloat. In New Berlin, the number is something like $11,000 per student, and those students are going to college. Those students are doing very well on standardized tests. Those students are becoming productive members of the workforce. Why? Because the money is spent on classroom education and not bureaucrats. When we come back, we name the unhinged liberal of the day, and it's a doozy from an old favorite. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this one.
The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is Mike and Jim from Brillo Home Improvements.
What's the matter, Mike? You're off today. Is something wrong?
Doggone it. I was trying not to show it, but you know what? There is something that's bothering me.
What's going on?
Jim, you want to know what really grinds my gears?
What?
Shoddy workmanship. And you know when you're a remodeler, you're going to see it.
Well, yeah, because we're the ones tearing down the job that give it a whole new look.
Yeah, and that means we see some good, but a lot of bad. And it's those guys that give guys like us a bad name.
But that's not us.
At Brillo, you'll find pride of workmanship, and it glares each time we walk off the site of another job well done.
You can trust Brillo.
Yeah, we won't let you down.
Berneri, award-winning home remodeling.
And about as down-to-earth of an approach as you're going to find.
Call Brillo.
Because at the end of the day, what counts most is that your job is done right.
How long have you been living with that joint pain? You're calling it an old sports injury or just old age, but you just don't have to live with it. Jay Weber here saying it took me too long to figure that out. If you're someone who's experiencing spine or musculoskeletal pain or shoulder, hip, or knee pain, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. They're the doctors and techs that I trust with my shoulder problems. I've had issues for years, and there's not enough damage to warrant surgery, so Ortho Wisconsin helps me manage the pain. Their clinicians, physicians, and surgeons are committed to providing the highest quality joint care and handle everything from simple strains and tears to sports injuries to managing degenerative diseases to complex joint replacements. In fact, Orthopedic Associates specializes in same-day total joint replacements at their ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee, and lesser treatments like physical therapy can be done at the Pewaukee, Brookfield, and New Berlin locations. Based on my experiences, you will be impressed with Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin and their staff. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Looking for fitness that fits your budget? Join Planet Fitness. Now through May 10th, you can save almost 25% a month. We've dropped our monthly membership from $12.99 to just $10 a month. Cancel anytime. With equipment for every workout, free fitness training, helpful team members, and most clubs open 24 hours, you can get energized in the judgment-free zone. Don't miss out. Get big fitness energy without the big investment. Save almost 25% a month and join today for $1 down and just $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, May 10th. Restrictions apply. See club for details.
Have you heard that real estate commissions are coming down? Ask your 6% broker if they're still charging 6%. Spoiler alert, they are. Before you overpay to sell your home, Google Redefined Realty. We have 15 to 20 agents, 3 local offices, West Bend, Waukesha, and Pewaukee, and over 500 5-star Google reviews. At just 3.99%, you can sell your home for a fair price and get the professional full-service MLS representation that you deserve. Don't pay 6% in such a hot housing market. It's just 3.99% at Redefined Realty for the same thing.
Do you know you need a new roof? Of course you do. For award-winning service and a free consultation, visit Klaus Roofing Systems by BuckBuckley.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
Life's a journey, and Russ Darrow is revving up for the ride. Russ Darrow and the places you'll go. Head to russdarrow.com to explore how they can help you get to your next adventure.
Twitter, there is a great conversation going, although I always find it hilarious. You can tell which is the free speech platform. We are streaming live via the Dano Cam. We have 22 viewers on Facebook, 56 viewers on YouTube, and 441 viewers on X. Do you realize we have roughly the same viewership on X as Outkick, Clay Travis's national website? So obviously we can draw an audience when people know that there's a radio show. That's why we need you, especially on Facebook. Share the live stream. Just share, like, subscribe, follow the Dano. We need to defeat the algorithm together, folks. On YouTube, we have a comment. Dan, you look a lot like the deal guy from YouTube, where he goes around to all the stores to show the best sales and deals, like at Costco and Aldi, etc. I was unaware of that. Okay. All right. Hey, I'll take it. Sounds like a compliment. We did find the Joe Biden black students in Washington, D.C. are dumber than white students in Iowa cut. It's from October 24th, 2007.
Again, you have to start off with what they start off with. There's less than 1% of the population of Iowa that is African American. There is probably less than 4 or 5% that is our minorities. What is in Washington?
I think it's a vast majority.
Yeah. So look, it goes back to what you start off with, what you're dealing with.
Oof.
When you have children coming from dysfunctional homes, when you have children coming from homes where there's no books, where the mother from the time they're born doesn't talk to them, as opposed to the mother in Iowa who's sitting out there and talks to them, the kid starts off with a 300-word larger vocabulary at age 3. Half this education gap exists before a kid puts a foot in their first classroom.
So let's see. Black kids don't have books. Black mothers don't talk to their kids. And Washington, D.C. schools suck because they're full of black kids. Totally not racist from Joe Biden.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
Does that make me crazy?
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil.
America is over.
That said, Joe Biden is still going to get a substantial amount of votes from the black community because of black leaders like Maxine Waters, our old friend Mad Maxine, who is very concerned about the possibility that Trump's supporters, if he loses, will take over American cities. After all, they're already out somewhere training in the foothills.
This is a man who we better be careful about. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the Justice Department and I'm going to ask the president to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses. I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
What communities? What foothills? What is this woman talking about? Maxine Waters is your unhinged liberal of the day.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. There's a new head of Milwaukee's Elections Commission. Mayor Cavalier Johnson announced yesterday current Deputy Elections Director Paulina Gutierrez will replace Claire Woodall. That's pending City Council approval. Mayor Johnson says he isn't firing Woodall, but that she left after being offered another position with the city. Woodall faced criticism for her handling of the 2020 presidential election. She recently took part in testimony against her former deputy, Kimberly Zapata, who was sentenced to probation for election fraud for illegally sending military absentee ballots to a state representative. Governor Tony Evers is again calling for a special meeting of the legislature's Joint Finance Committee to approve funding to address hospital closures and PFAS contamination. The committee's co-chairs, Senator Howard Markline and Representative Mark Bourne, quickly rejected Evers' call. Evers has repeatedly pushed Republicans on the committee to approve the $125 million set aside in the budget to fight PFAS contamination and $15 million to address hospital closures in western Wisconsin. The Israeli military said its ground forces have taken control of the Gaza side of the Rafah border crossing with Egypt. That action comes after Hamas announced it had accepted a ceasefire proposal following weeks of talks with Qatar and Egypt. Israel said that deal was far from its requirements. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard, the Brewers and Royals meet up again tonight in Kansas City after the Brew Crew fell to KC last night. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Allen on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
With nearly 50 years of experience, my dad, Jim Mullally, has taught my cousin Mark everything he knows. In fact, he bestowed so much expertise onto Mark that Mark went to New York to compete against the top furniture finishers in the country. And you know what? He won. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. The bulk of our business is in wood furniture restoration. We found that there are a lot of folks out there with antique furniture and heirloom pieces that are in good shape, but just need to be brought back to life again. Well, that's our specialty. And right here in Mequon, you'll find one of the country's top furniture finishers. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Rain and thunderstorms moving through this morning with another round possible this afternoon and this evening. We could see strong to potentially severe storms, so stay weather aware. High today near 68. Should settle down and drop to 52 tonight. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center. For the first time ever, Lynch Truck Center is having a massive construction sale on over 400 in-stock trucks, which include Chevrolet, GMC, Hino, and Isuzu. You will not want to miss it. We're adding parking, 7 more truck bays, and expanded parts storage, so we can better serve you, our customer. Did you know our experienced sales staff sold more Chevrolet medium-duty trucks and cab overs than all the other dealers in the state combined? With their knowledge on upfits, combined with our service department, we deliver turnkey vehicles for your business, including the right body for your application, bin packages, and even lettered when it's delivered right to your door. As a business owner, has managing your fleet grown into a full-time job? Our fleet department can help. We provide a free fleet analysis which guides you when to trade, help track expenses for maintenance, fuel, and even vehicle tracking. You'll be shocked on the money and time you can save, not to mention having new vehicles under warranty. Visit lynchtruckcenter.com and give us a shot. We won't disappoint you.
They pretty much aren't doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics here in Milwaukee and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery and then the knee is not yours and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WIS Caregiver Careers can get you started as a certified direct care professional. You'll learn the skills you need to make life better for older adults or people with a disability. All training is free and online. Plus, earn $500 in bonuses. Start your new career. Sign up today at WISCaregiverCDCP.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
When you need to know, come to us. News Talk 1130 WISN.
Be sure to listen to the Annex Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Annex provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
It's the Spring Green Cash Contest. Your chance at $1,000. Listen for the nationwide keyword weekdays 9 to 5 on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Excited are liberals right now. And when I say excited, I mean excited. Stormy Daniels is testifying for the prosecution in the Donald Trump hush money trial, which isn't actually a hush money trial because hush money or non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, if you will, are fully legal in New York and pretty much everywhere else. It's a falsification of business records trial, a case that was brought by local prosecutors attempting to essentially localize a federal crime after both the Federal Elections Commission and Justice Department both passed on it. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. If President Trump speaks, a lot of times the court will go into recess long about this time. There occasionally will be moments where Trump will walk outside the courtroom and address cameras. As always, if he says something, you will hear it here on the Dan O'Donnell Show live or as close to live as we possibly can. We are also awaiting President Biden's remarks on anti-Semitism. Now, this is not to be confused with the remarks on anti-Semitism that he made a couple of days ago because he was basically pressured into it because even left-wing pundits were questioning why hasn't the president said anything because he doesn't want to risk alienating the anti-Semite left-wing bigots that he needs to win re-election. So we will try to carry as much of the president's speech as possible, assuming, of course, it's coherent. So stay tuned for that and much more. AdventNews.com talk and text line always open at 414-799-1130. You can reach us toll free, 1-800-838-9476. Email me, DOD@iHeartMedia.com. Most of the exclusive stories, in fact, almost all of the exclusive stories that we break here on the Dan O'Donnell Show are tips emailed to me at DOD@iHeartMedia.com. Yes, as one YouTube viewer has already noticed, the Frank Grimes look is back. Frank Grimes, the character from The Simpsons. I'm wearing my blue light glasses. I have noticed my vision has just taken a turn. I need to get a new phone. I'm probably going to go this afternoon. I'm just going to assume the baseball game I was supposed to coach is going to be canceled, so I've got some time. We also need to put parental controls on my son's phone. He's like a crack addict with that thing. Yeah. Are you finding... Well, your kids don't have phones. Are they obsessed with the iPad? Let me guess. The boy. Yes, of course the boy is. Although my daughter plays Roblox with her friends after school. Yeah, so does... Yeah, that's right. Your daughter does too. That's right. We got to get them together on Roblox. I keep forgetting. Well, yes, I am sort of feeding the addiction, but I've noticed I am toying with the idea of getting the iPhone Max. You know, the one that's so big it can barely fit in your hand. I have so far resisted. Well, yeah, Dave says I won't lose it. Really, it's because I struggle to look at the screen. And I think it's because my eyes are so damaged from staring at computers every single day. So if you would like to see Dan O'Donnell, a.k.a. Clark Kent, check out the Dan O'Cam streaming live on X at Dan O'Donnell Show there, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, or the YouTube channel. Just search for the Dan O'Donnell Show on YouTube. All right, we're starting to crack the Facebook algorithm, Dave. We are all the way up to 29 viewers on Facebook. Do you realize we have something like 40,000 followers on Facebook? It just went down to 27. I must have said, you know what it was? People checked out my look and they say, I can't listen or I can't watch this nerd with the glasses any longer. I happen to think I look pretty good in glasses. What do you think, Dave? Glasses? No glasses. Glasses? No glasses. If I was doing TV, you would say glasses. It gives me more of a distinguished look. Nah, that's true. He says radio people don't care if you're naked so long as you can provide good content. Thus far, we have provided about 6 minutes of no content. Let's remedy that with a chance at $1,000 right now. Spring Green Cash Contest. Word this hour is fun. F-U-N, fun. You have got until 55 past the hour to go to our website and enter the keyword fun. Just as we have fun on this radio show, you can have fun with an extra $1,000 courtesy of iHeartMedia. You know who it seems could use an extra $1,000 right now? Ballpark Commons, aka The Rock. According to publicly available records from the city of Franklin, on December 19th, 2023, Ballpark Commons, a.k.a. Rock Ventures, known here as The Rock. It's the big ballpark that was built on Crystal Ridge ski resort. It was a landfill that they turned into a ski hill, and then it was bought in, 2017, 2018, something like that, and developed into a sports complex. But then it evolved into something even more than that. They put up a Lux Golf Bays, which is very cool, and it's a remarkable development that the developer Mike Zimmerman was able to put up. It's amazing. You go there, the ballpark is beautiful. The Milkmen Field is absolutely pristine. The little shops that they have in there, it's fantastic. The kids' ballparks or the little stadiums that they have for Little League, tremendous. Except Zimmerman has behaved pretty much since he started expanding his operations as if the rules just don't apply to him, especially when it comes to noise ordinances. For whatever reason, The Rock has gotten it in its head that the louder they can possibly make a baseball game attended by about 75 people, the better. Neighbors, of course, are not particularly happy about this. In the interest of full disclosure, my father is one of those neighbors, although he lives about a mile away. So he's not one of the ones who's, directly affected, although you can hear The Rock very clearly every summer evening that there is a Milkmen game from his backyard. That said, the people who are most concerned about this are the ones who live in the immediate vicinity. Now, however, everyone in Franklin should be concerned about the fact that Zimmerman apparently believes he does not need to pay his tax bill. According to these publicly available records, on December 19th, 2023, Rock Ventures was invoiced $87,314.68 for payment in lieu of taxes as part of its Tax Incremental Financing District agreement for Ballpark Commons. Additionally, Rock Ventures received another invoice for shortfall on debt service from the city of Franklin on December 19th, 2023 for $934,935.82. Both of those invoices totaling $1,022,250 and change were due on January 18th, 2024. There is no question about this. Ballpark Commons owes $1 million to the city of Franklin. Rock Ventures has not paid. As a result of this, the city is considering, because it is assuming that this money might never be paid because of financial troubles of the developer Zimmerman and the Rock Complex itself, that it might be forced to make up this budget shortfall by raising property taxes on every single resident in Franklin, on every single commercial property owner in Franklin by a minimum of 5%. $1 million to a city the size of Franklin is no small change. This isn't like Milwaukee Public Schools, which we just talked about for the better part of last hour, where $1 million is nothing to them. $1 million can hire a couple more climate justice coaches. But for an otherwise fiscally responsible community like Franklin, $1 million is a serious budget hole. At tonight's meeting of the Franklin Common Council, the 6-member council will consider permit applications for special events that The Rock wants to hold over the next few months. It wants a summer concert series at the Umbrella Bar, which is on the hill overlooking the baseball fields. It wants to have fireworks displays on 10 nights after Milwaukee Milkmen semi-pro baseball games. And it wants the sequel to Franklin's Fire Festival Tacos and Tequila, which infamously last year ran out of both tacos and tequila somehow. It's a rap concert that they want another version of this year, followed immediately by Phase Fest, which is an alt-rock concert. According to Municipal Code 169-2, no license or permit authorized or required by this code shall be issued or renewed unless the applicant has no outstanding and unpaid personal property taxes, charges, assessments, or forfeitures owed to the city. Furthermore, the applicant shall pay all outstanding and unpaid personal property taxes, charges, assessments, or forfeitures owed to the city to the satisfaction of the city finance department before this temporary use permit is issued. The plain meaning of this municipal ordinance is that you can't get a license for an event unless you're up to date on all of your accounts. Which account are we talking about? Michael Zimmerman personally? or The Rock as an entity? Is Michael Zimmerman going to have fireworks and rap concerts at his house, or is he going to have them at The Rock? Very obviously at The Rock. In that regard, Michael Zimmerman is acting when he applies for the license for The Rock as an agent. He is not acting in his own personal capacity. He is an agent of The Rock. However, there is a fear that all he needs to do to get around this is to have one of his employees apply for this license. That's nonsense. The city attorney in Franklin believes that the ordinance applies directly to the person who makes the application. In other words, if, say, a random bartender who works at the Umbrella Bar applies for the license for tacos and tequila, the $1 million that Rock Ventures owes to the city, well, we'll just forget about that. What crackerjack box did this guy get his law degree from? That obviously isn't the correct interpretation unless the bartender is having the fireworks display at his house. He also would be an agent of Rock Ventures. The permit would be to Rock Ventures for The Rock or Ballpark Commons to hold the fireworks displays and rap concerts. The Common Council will decide tonight whether or not to use the only leverage that it seems to have, because The Rock has determined, I am told, that it's losing money on the Milwaukee Milkmen, it's losing money on its baseball tournaments that it's hosting, that its core business necessarily needs to be special events like Fire Festival and the various other things that it puts on. Otherwise, it's going to fail. It's not going to be able to cover its operational costs, which are very sizable. The city can say, okay, you can put these on, but you need to pay the money that you're owed. There is a very real fear that in the list of creditors, if Zimmerman and or The Rock go under, the city of Franklin would be near the end and that money would never get paid back. Here's where things take a little bit of a turn. Also under Franklin municipal ordinances, let's say the Common Council rejects these permits. The applicant can go before the municipal judge for an appeal. The municipal judge's name is Georgia Konstanakis. She recently won election to her position, I believe, in the April election. After she did, guess who she swore in? Steve Taylor, for his oath of office as a Milwaukee County supervisor on April 16th. Steve Taylor is also employed by The Rock. Konstantinakis apparently was in attendance as the judge was sworn in on April 26th. So what this looks like is a business that is struggling, that's unable to pay its tax bills, but wants more special treatment from the government that has already given it special treatment throughout its existence. Now, I have long said since we first started covering this, I am not going to accept phone calls or emails or tell the other side of the story from Michael Zimmerman or the mayor of Franklin or anyone else involved in this, because they have had a full 8 years of ignoring their constituents, so I'm treating them the exact way that they're treating the people of Franklin. By mocking them, by ignoring them, by refusing to listen to their concerns. However, Mr. Zimmerman, in a Facebook rant last night, targeted your humble host, referring to me as Daddy's Boy O'Donnell because my dad lives in the vicinity. He said my coverage is horribly slanted, didn't say it was inaccurate, but he's going to clear up some misconceptions on a certain radio show that airs opposite this one. There's a rather ironic twist. That radio show is hosted by Steve Scafidi, the former mayor of Oak Creek, right? In 2014, before settling on Franklin as a home for Ballpark Commons and his grand vision, Zimmerman went to the mayor of Oak Creek, Steve Scafidi, who turned him down. And he then went to Franklin, and the rest is history. Think that got discussed on the radio show this morning? You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, classical conservatism, contemporary style.
Follow Dan on Facebook, facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. Dan O'Donnell will be right back.
And that's the best thing about Capital's AC Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree. Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your air conditioner to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does the comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's AC Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before summer hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your AC Beyondification today online at callcapitalcares.com.
If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain, and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Their physicians specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center. See orthowisconsin.com.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
At Waukesha State Bank, we know that when our community's businesses grow, we all grow together. No matter if your business is expanding or just getting started, our commercial banking services will keep you on the path to success. Whether you're in need of credit, treasury management, or our comprehensive payroll services, you have the support of a true partner when you work with Waukesha State Bank. Discover banking solutions that fit your needs at waukeshabank.com. Waukesha State Bank, member FDIC.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at lifelock.com.
Be greeted by an owner at America's largest employee-owned jewelry store.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Talk radio.
Redefined.
You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Let's go back almost exactly a decade, shall we? April 7th, 2014, Fox6Now.com. The Rock's CEO eyeing up Oak Creek as Plan B for baseball stadium. The Milwaukee Business Journal says The Rock's CEO could be eyeing up a site in Oak Creek for a potential Frontier League baseball stadium as a plan B. The Business Journal says Mike Zimmerman says his top alternate location is the U.S. Postal Service site in Oak Creek. Zimmerman says discussions with Franklin are ongoing. Zimmerman was hoping to build the stadium in Franklin, saying the stadium is a catalyst for a $40 million multi-use facility that would be built after the stadium goes in. Zimmerman asked Franklin to borrow $10.5 million for the stadium, which he said he would repay through a lease agreement that would generate enough money annually to pay off the debt. Let's fast forward 10 years. How's that working out with the $1 million shortfall? Franklin officials rejected that plan, saying they are considering borrowing the money and paying off the debt using property taxes generated by the $40 million development. Zimmerman says he checked out the site in Oak Creek on Friday, April 4th. Mayor of Oak Creek in 2014, Steve Scafidi. Steve Scafidi in 2024, radio host. His guest today, Mike Zimmerman. If the ballpark and subsequent development was such a great idea, was so perfect to spark an incredible amount of other development, why did Scafidi, who was a very, very good mayor of Oak Creek, I mean, I thought he was a fantastic mayor. Obviously led the city through its darkest day, the Sikh Temple massacre, and he was a model of good leadership. But he saw in 2014, maybe this isn't the best investment. I just find it ironic that Zimmerman is going back to the old Scafidi well to answer this show. And no, my stance is not changed. Franklin leadership isn't going to listen to its constituents. I'm not going to listen to Franklin leadership. They've got their own little incestuous relationship. They can talk amongst themselves. But what I do here on the Dan O'Donnell Show is speak for the people. Yes, in the interest of full disclosure, my father is one of those people. I've gotten to know several people in the neighborhood just in my reporting on this. And folks, even if you don't live in Franklin, even if you're listening to me on WIBA in Madison, this is a story that impacts everyone because it could be in your community next, and in reality probably is, just on a much smaller scale. This idea that most favored corporations can get all sorts of special perks where they can just sort of walk all over local government and not have to obey the laws or the municipal ordinances that every other citizen and every other business in the community has to follow. That's not capitalism. That's not democracy. That's not a constitutional republic. That's an oligarchy. That's reminiscent of what happened in the old Soviet Union, where you would have favored entities that would be the ones, okay, Gregor is going to provide all the shoes. Vladimir, you're going to provide all the socks, right? That was what an oligarchy was. They could do whatever they wanted because they knew they had the full backing of the government. Well, we have what I call an American oligarchy, where all of the power vests not in an all-powerful state, but in all-powerful corporations, like in Franklin's example, The Rock, who get to do whatever it is that they want to do. The classic example was Disney World in Florida. Did you realize for 50 years, the Walt Disney Company had its own fire department. It had its own police department. It levied its own taxes. Now, you tell me what other business in the history of this country or in the history of any other constitutional republic or free country would grant one company that much power, where it essentially was its own autonomous zone. We mock these college kids. UWM has set up its own no cops allowed autonomous zone. I just love this because they wrote this on their little makeshift shanty wall like a kid would in a treehouse writing no girls allowed. They wrote no cops allowed on this. Kudos to Jessica McBride over at Wisconsin Right Now for grabbing a picture of that hilarity. But that's exactly what Disney had. That's exactly what The Rock wants and in large measure has in Franklin. They have their own little autonomous zone where they're allowed to violate noise ordinances. They're apparently, if they're planned to get all these permitting requirements or get these permits without meeting any of the legally required permitting requirements, they're going to get it done because they know they've got the government in their back pocket. However, if this $1 million is not paid, I can report exclusively the city of Franklin believes that it is going to be forced to raise property taxes on every single resident by 5.5%, probably at a bare minimum. That's not just a bunch of Karens complaining about the noise, or as Zimmerman called me, Daddy's boy O'Donnell protecting his daddy. That's every single person. Do you want to pay Mike Zimmerman's bill for him? Do you want to pay for The Rock because he'd rather host Ludacris in Fire Festival 2, his little rap concert, instead of paying the money? He doesn't owe the government. He owes you, and he wants to stick you with the bill because he doesn't feel like he needs to pay. He's had 5 months. Where's that money? But now he thinks, The Rock thinks, that it can just bully city government, get his way yet again, rule like a king over his own little kingdom, the city of Franklin. There are 6 members of the Franklin Common Council. I am not sure if there is going to be privilege of the floor where citizens can speak tonight, but I can tell you that all of their phone numbers and all of their emails are easily available on Franklin's website. I would strongly encourage you to talk to them and let them know that you don't want to pay $1 million in increased property taxes because somebody who's got the most favored nations status in Franklin doesn't feel like paying his own tax bill. I would encourage you, if you feel strongly about this, make your voice heard. Show up at the meeting tonight, 6:30 p.m. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, or should I say Daddy's Boy O'Donnell Show. More of it coming up next.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style.
The Dan O'Donnell Show. We'll be right back.
This is Michael Lynch from Lynch Truck Center. For the first time ever, Lynch Truck Center is having a massive construction sale on over 400 in-stock trucks, which include Chevrolet, GMC, Hino, and Isuzu. You will not want to miss it. We're adding parking, 7 more truck bays, and expanded parts storage, so we can better serve you, our customer. Did you know our experienced sales staff sold more Chevrolet medium-duty trucks and cab overs than all the other dealers in the state combined? With their knowledge on upfits, combined with our service department, we deliver turnkey vehicles for your business, including the right body for your application, bin packages, and even lettered when it's delivered right to your door. As a business owner, has managing your fleet grown into a full-time job? Our fleet department can help. We provide a free fleet analysis which guides you when to trade, help track expenses for maintenance, fuel, and even vehicle tracking. You'll be shocked on the money and time you can save, not to mention having new vehicles under warranty. Visit LynchTruckCenter.com and give us a shot. We won't disappoint you.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
Dan O'Donnell here for CertaPro Painters, which provides excellent workmanship quality and a worry-free process for both residential and commercial spaces, all at the right price. You can trust them to get the job done right and safely. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters. Dan O'Donnell here. It's This Week with Annex Wealth Management alongside Dave Spano, President and CEO of Annex. It's now May, and one of the oldest axioms in investing is sell in May, go away. But is that still applicable in the digital age?
That's so funny, Dan. This goes all the way back to the 1600s when people would leave London during the months of May through September, sell in May and go away, and they come back on St. Leger's Day was the old saying. And of course, there was a race that happened in September, and that's when everybody would come back into town and get back to work. But of course, that is a silly saying when it comes to investments and all of the data that it's out there right now. And you see the data that we got on Friday, 175,000 jobs created, expected was 240,000, and the market really celebrated that bad news because they thought perhaps the Fed might lower interest rates sooner than expected. And you and I have been talking about this for a number of months. When we started the year, the market thought there might be as many as 6 rate cuts. And now they think the first rate cut might be in September, right before the election, which of course the Fed does not want to get into politics, right? We'll have to see what the economic news, what the job numbers are, and of course, as we head into the inflation, what inflation looks like, which has remained sticky. So let's take a look at all of this data throughout the rest of the summer. And of course, that will have an impact on how your portfolio looks and reacts.
That's why you should never go away in May or ever. You always need to be active. You always need to know what you own and why you own it. And you need to be working with someone who's working with and for you as a fee-only fiduciary that can help walk you through that process, which can seem daunting, but it's really easy. You get a wealth metric. It's a review of your portfolio available only at Annex Wealth Management. For Dave Spano, President and CEO of Annex, I'm Dan O'Donnell, saying thanks for listening to This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
Need to sell your home fast? Metro Milwaukee Homebuyer can help you with that. Get cash for your home quick, no matter the reason you're selling it or the condition it's currently in. Visit MetroMilwaukeeHomebuyer.com and find out about how you can sell your home fast for cash.
Hi, I'm Mike Madsen, owner of Color Wheel Painting. When you hire a painter, what are you really looking for? Is it straight lines? Good coverage? Is it really about quality painting? Or are those things just inherent expectations? Of course they are. Years ago, I figured it out. Color Wheel's success is about way more than the high quality work we do. It's about you feeling safe and respected in your own home. It's about you trusting our geek level expertise to do the work. It's about you receiving our courtesy around your family, being kind to your dog, and cleaning up well, because you don't need another mess. Ultimately, it's the experience, front to back and back again. And so, while there are a lot of people who can kind of paint, they can't do what Color Wheel does to make you feel great about every dollar you spend. There's only one Color Wheel painting, so look no further. RemodelandPaint.com. That's RemodelandPaint.com.
Crystal clear water conditioning products by S&K Pump and Plumbing are the answer to your problem water. If iron, hardness, or odor are giving you nightmares, their water treatment specialists are ready and eager to tackle your problems. They feature water softeners, iron filters, water purifiers, and more. The answer to your problem water is crystal clear. Call them today.
When it comes to water, one call does it all. S&K Pump and Plumbing.
Learn the secrets to create your own ultimate backyard retreat with Brett Ochtenhagen of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Tune in every Saturday at 1 p.m. on News Talk 1130 WISN. Learn more at seasonalservices.com.
You've worked hard to build a life for the ones you love. With retirement around the corner, are you prepared to keep family wealth in the family? Our experienced fiduciary advisors at Coldwell Investment Group are here to help you. Give us a call at 262-522-4040.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
classical conservatism, contemporary style. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show, officially endorsed by one former president / criminal defendant, Donald J. Trump.
Your show is a very important show, and it's a great show, and we appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. We are awaiting President Biden condemning anti-Semitism, and do we want to place bets on whether he's going to throw in an Islamophobia there as well? Yes, because there is just so much Islamophobia going on college campuses right now. We can hardly stand it. Have you seen anywhere in the media, and you know doggone well if there was even the slightest hint that some frat boy was being Islamophobic, it would be all over the news. Like, did you see the one, I think it was at maybe Mississippi or Texas A&M, somewhere? There was a larger woman who went out she was part of the Palestinian protesters, and they started chanting, Lizzo, Lizzo, Lizzo. One guy it sounded like, I could see if he was barking at her, doing hoo, hoo, hoo. If he was making monkey noises because the woman is black, completely unacceptable, and he's already been kicked out of his frat. That story has gone around the world in 80 days. Everybody knows this guy's name already. If there was somebody who was making Islamophobic remarks, don't you think we would have heard about it? Yet we keep having to say, well, we can't stand this anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. The left needs to all lives matter anti-Semitism. They always need to add anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Well, one group of kids is being physically barred from classrooms and another is not. One side is asked to show its yellow star by being asked, are you a Zionist? No, you can't come here because you're a Zionist. That means Jew. That's how they cover their anti-Semitism. They say, well, we're not anti-Semitic. We're anti-Zionist. Do you know what a Zionist is? Someone who believes that Israel and the people who live therein, the Jews who live therein, should be allowed to exist. That's it. That's literally the definition. So if you think, hey, Israel is a legitimate country, and the Jewish people, the one Jewish state in the entire world, does have a right to be there because of its very, very ancestral claim to the area, then you're a Zionist. I guess I am a proud Zionist. I wait for you crazies to show up with your tents on the iHeartMedia Milwaukee lawn. Biden has not yet. It is the National Holocaust Remembrance Ceremony, and it is the Holocaust Memorial Museum's Days of Remembrance. According to the New York Times, Biden is expected to, quote, draw on the October 7th terrorist attacks on Israel to amplify concerns about anti-Semitism in the United States and abroad. Why did President Biden already address this very briefly, 3-minute remarks? He came out last Thursday. Because we have not had national leadership on this, because the President of the United States is terrified that if he condemns anti-Semitism too forcefully, if he says something, if he makes a gaffe like saying, yeah, I don't think all the Jews in Israel should, be rooted out from their homes, and I don't think we should tear down all the synagogues. I do believe Israel has a right to exist. He might lose this election. Do you have any idea how messed up that is as a political movement? Do you have any idea how messed up it is that the left literally depends upon, needs the absolute worst people in this country to continue to vote for them, or they have no prayer of winning elections? What does that say about the Democrat Party? That they need the anti-Semite vote. All the while, they still lecture us about Charlottesville and the Tiki Torch losers who marched in 2017. There's a Charlottesville on campus every couple of days. Did any of the dudes use their tiki torches to single out Jewish people and bar them from going to see the Jefferson Memorial? Nope. Now, I'm not saying those losers were right, because they clearly weren't, and President Trump condemned them. Biden has been silent because politically he knows he can't condemn his own anti-Semites. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show, a tour de force of truth, the sort of truth the rest of the media ignores or even hides.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, host of the Designer Yard Show and owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Do you love your landscaping? Do you appreciate the perfect blend of plants, stone, and wood that embraces your home? Do you delight in sitting on your patio with a cool drink, taking in the beauty of your backyard? If you answer yes, then we have a lot in common. Now, one more question. Does all of this beauty disappear when the sun goes down? Since 1994, the experts at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services have been creating beautiful landscaping that can and should be enjoyed even after dark. If the beauty and pleasure of your landscaping disappears when the sun goes down, you should consider a fully automatic landscape lighting system. The experts at Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services are gifted at creating deliciously soft, subtle nighttime scenes. To schedule a meeting with one of our lighting designers, please call 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
It is Milwaukee's oldest home, and I'm proud to say that the owner chose us to replace its windows. It's a beautiful home in Shorewood. It's not big or flashy, but it is just gorgeous. And I'm so proud of the windows that we helped the owner choose for this home. As they sat in our warehouse before the install, I kept walking by and looking at them, saying to myself, we really chose the perfect windows. And I couldn't wait to see the results, which even exceeded my expectations. The windows we chose were from the Marvin Signature Collection, which offers their broadest range of product types, sizes, configurations, and design options. When we choose them for your home, you'll experience the difference in every thoughtful detail with the highest level of architectural precision and beautiful aesthetics. Marvin windows are built around you. This is David Wilhelm. If you want to see Marvin's entire product line, come to Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. After all, we are your clear choice for more.
Your clear choice for more. Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
All year long, Klaus Roofing Systems by Buck Buckley offers free replacement roof repair and gutters. 100% satisfaction is the Klaus Roofing way. For a free estimate, visit klausroofingbybuck.com and put a Klaus on your house.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
President Biden is finally talking about anti-Semitism. Let's go live to the President of the United States here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Expand his reign of terror by eliminating Jews from Germany, to annihilate Jews across Europe through genocide, the Nazis call the final solution. Concentration camps, gas chambers, mass shootings. By the time the war ended, 6 million Jews, 1 out of every 3 Jews in the entire world, were murdered. This ancient hatred of Jews didn't begin with the Holocaust. It didn't end with the Holocaust either, or even after our victory in World War II. This hatred continues to lie deep in the hearts of too many people in the world, and it requires our continued vigilance and outspokenness. That hatred was brought to life on October 7th in 2023. On the sacred Jewish holiday, the terrorist group Hamas unleashed the deadliest day of the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Driven by ancient desire to wipe out the Jewish people off the face of the earth, over 1,200 innocent people, babies, parents, grandparents, slaughtered in their kibbutz, massacred at a music festival, brutally raped, mutilated, and sexually assaulted. Thousands more carrying wounds, bullets and shrapnel from the memory of that terrible day they endured. Hundreds taken hostage, including survivors of the Shoah. Now, here we are, not 75 years later, but just 7.5 months later, and people are already forgetting. They're already forgetting that Hamas unleashed this terror. It was Hamas that brutalized Israelis. It was Hamas who took and continues to hold hostages. I have not forgotten, nor have you, and we will not forget.
I've got to give credit where credit is due. This is a very, very forceful condemnation of October 7th. That should have been given a long time ago when these anti-Semitic protests started.
With the atrocities and trauma of that day and its aftermath, we've seen a ferocious surge of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. Vicious propaganda on social media. Jews forced to keep their hide, to keep us under baseball hats, tuck their Jewish stars into their shirts. On college campuses, Jewish students blocked, harassed, attacked while walking to class. Anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic posters, slogans calling for the annihilation of Israel, the world's only Jewish state. Too many people denying, downplaying, rationalizing, ignoring the horrors of the Holocaust. And October 7th including Hamas's appalling use of sexual violence to torture and terrorize Jews. It's absolutely despicable, and it must stop.
That is former President. I'm getting ahead of myself. I keep calling him former President Biden. Wait, Dan, wait. January 20th is coming. President Biden addressing anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, we do have to leave it there. I will give him credit. This is a very, very powerful speech. I wish he would have given it 3 weeks ago, but alas, here we are. They needed a couple of weeks to pump him up full of uppers so he could give this speech. I'm sure Clay and Buck will be discussing it. They are next. Talk to you tomorrow.